Hello everyone. Welcome. It is Thursday, the 20th of February. We're going to be working from this awesome reference of Soane, which was shared via the Judith Yours Portrait Challenge, JY Portrait Challenge on Instagram, soane.ara. And yeah, you can tag them. Thank you to both of you for sharing it. Hello, Dale, Kiki, Ingrid, Bärbel, Hannah Marie, anyone else who is here in the live chat, I would love you to say hello. I've been focusing online. Hello, Ike, Annette, Bärbel. I already said Bärbel maybe. Wait, there was a question. Anyone just a little scared about the braids in today's reference pick or just me? Yes, this will be a challenge. It's light and shadow at its best. Indeed. Do not be overwhelmed. You can be overwhelmed if you like, but we're going to do it and it'll be great. I'm going to be using the calligraphy pen again today, which is just going to be great. And maybe a combination of calligraphy pen and fine liner. I'm kind of undecided, but we shall see. Because I've been focusing on pure line, and that's what we're going to do today too. I was also wondering about putting in the, starting with the face form and just doing like a light ink wash, just as to have a foundation to then do the line upon, which each day this week we've been kind of doing different things with the line work and using different tools, and that's something I just thought about for today. Could be good. Hi Nicole. Yes, perfect light and shadow. So sometimes it's a very good exercise to see things that are like, why am I going to do this? And then figure it out. And sometimes doing it in a time limit helps. Sometimes just slowing down and leaving parts out helps. And figuring out ways how to simplify really complicated things that we're looking at in drawing and in life. It's a helpful thing to be able to do. Alyssa, yes, I saw your photo of Soane, your drawing, and then I checked over on Judith Yours Portrait Challenge and was like, oh, so cool. And today Soane followed me and followed me back and has really great work. So go check it out over on Instagram. Hello, Vanessa. Let's draw. Oh, just wait a minute. I like to, I just got to check something. Soane just said, those who want can follow her and she'll be posting more art and references soon. Looking forward to that. Cool. Calligraphy pen, is that what I said? My pens. After yesterday's live stream, I had a brief mentorship session, and it was cool. Got to do a short demo of understanding or of ways of looking at shadow shapes and making distinct decisions about mark making, and that was cool. Thank you to everyone who was able to join. Soane is here. Hello, so nice to have you here. Thank you for your wonderful photo. We're just about to begin. So thank you for the heart to you too for this incredible reference. Some people, are a bit apprehensive about all this wonderful hair to draw, but I think the calligraphy pen is going to be a really great tool for doing it with. So I want to start. This is mostly going to be line. I was talking about pure line, but I feel like it's blurring a bit. Still being really emphasizing the line and trying to keep it simple and clear in the initial stage. But I would like to do just a unifying ink wash with this reference, with this piece, and then to draw on top of that. So that's what I'm going to start with. And I'll just put a 6-minute timer on. I'm definitely going to take longer, but just like to know where I'm at. So this calligraphy pen, I love these calligraphy pens, and really trying to focus on line, and I love the lines that I can make with these pens. How I use Soane, Wonderful to have you here. It's always a treat to have the people that we are join the live stream. Really cool. If I understood correctly, you live in the Netherlands. Robin, who we drew a couple of days ago, who's just over here, is also from the Netherlands. I lived in the Netherlands for a while. If I can read flags, it looked like a Brazilian and Dutch flag on your Instagram. I live in central Germany. How about everyone who's here tells us where they are in the world? That may not be where you're from, but where are you right now? Today was like the first full day above 0 degrees, above freezing. And just as I sat down here and turned on the lights, the first fly of the year, it was already like, oh, it's a nice warm day, and life returns. I love insects as a sign of life and a healthy ecosystem. It's funny that often the only non-human animals inside are the flies, or the first, the heralds of the return of life. And then it's like yeah, so I had this idea, maybe now already. I'm just going to grab the some of the ink that's already here, and see why did I think Drawn Together was today? Drawn Together is Thursdays, but it's going to be once a month for now. And if a lot of people, thank you to everyone who's already joined as a Drawn Together VIP. As it grows, if it does, when people are contributing to the Patreon or buying our original work, we'll be able to invest more and more time into it. So it's at now just to I spend time on it, which sometimes seems disproportionate to the time that we actually just spend sitting and talking and drawing together. And that's going to make the page warp a bit. So I'm just going to let this dry a bit. Ask questions. Now's a good time for me to answer them while I'm waiting for this to dry. Put this rubber band over here. Stop my page from going all over the place. So Drawn Together is going to be at least once a month. And Shannon is here as things gain momentum, and we have the support to dedicate more resources to it, which is our time, because there's a lot of stuff that happens on the periphery. As the Drawn Together Patreon grows, then we used to do one a week, and at some point it was just like it was so great, but then it was just too much. So as things kind of change there, it will be more often. So it was last week, and I'm going through a phase of uploading the old episodes to the new channel and stuff. I'm just waiting for this to dry. And yeah, so the next one's probably going to be the 13th of March. But thank you for asking about Drawn Together, because we love Drawn Together. What was the brand of calligraphy pen? It is a Herlitz. I'll just put that in here. Herlitz My Pen Calligraphy Set. And there's a Faber-Castell one, which is very, very similar. Mai says she's so pretty. Liz says Canada. Mais is from Holland. Hanna-Marie's in Denmark. Nicole, Melbourne, Australia, which is where my sister used to live. I used to go to Melbourne for concerts, which was just 800 kilometers away from where I lived. Elizabeth is in Hampshire near Winchester, formerly South Wales, via Belgium and Cambridge. Bärbel's in North Germany. Dale's Cape Cod. Soane, thanks for using my photo. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for sharing this great photo. Vanessa's in Brooklyn. Luis Hola is in the Canary Islands. Joetti, this is a good question. Do you need a really good foundation in drawing to learn how to paint? I love drawing, but and I think it's super helpful, but I'm going to say no. I think the way you develop and the way you learn is going to be very different if you start painting before really getting that foundation of drawing. But as you paint, you're also drawing. There's a kind of there are certain things in the mark making which the calligraphy pen, if you're drawing with a calligraphy pen, sometimes like the eye keeping in mind that you have line variation that you're working with, you have these kind of calligraphic kind of lines, which is a similar kind of quality sometimes to what you can get with a paintbrush. You can also, as you learn to draw, you can kind of, I don't know. I definitely came from a strong drawing foundation first, but I would say, like, if you're excited about trying something, then you do it. Like, I wouldn't. When is the time ever right? I would think. I would kind of say I think it's good to have a mix of things, and if you wanted, like, to do. I feel like it's really easy and accessible to draw. Like, it's so simple with the tools that you can have. It's something you can always have with you. And the drawing practice can really like complement the painting practice. And so it's like, there's kind of like two skill sets that you could be learning parallel. But there are certain things, like if you're thinking about proportions, like you can also learn proportions with a paintbrush. Like the way you're looking at things, the mark you're making, it's just it's still a mark making tool. So I wouldn't say dogmatically like draw first, paint later. I feel like it's like a spectrum, and you could kind of flow between I don't know, maybe other people want to weigh in and have interesting things to say. Please do. This is kind of getting dry now, so I can start drawing back onto it, because otherwise, if I had gone in 2 minutes ago, this line would have gone, and I would have cried a little bit. It's okay to cry. I got my art cards today. Our dear friend Jane organized an art card swap, and a whole bunch of creative people made like trading cards, made artworks the size of trading cards, and mine arrived today, which was very exciting. So the idea was everyone sends 3 trading card size pieces to Jane. And then Jane has the project of coordinating, swapping, and sending 3 pieces back to each person who sent 3 pieces. So that's very, very cool. It's the first time I've done something like that, and it's such a wonderful idea, such a great way of making and sharing art. And then I got to see Cassidy yesterday has a whole binder full of art trading cards, which is so cool. Joetti says, I feel like my brain understands painting better than drawing, so I'm learning backwards. Yeah, if it works for you, that's totally great. When we had Andrew Kadima on Drawn Together, there was something so funny. What was it that he said? But he doesn't draw. He just goes straight to paint, and his paintings are amazing. Oh, I can't remember. There was just something. Oh, I'm gonna have to rack my brains to try and remember what he said, but it was so funny. I said something about um, the existential crisis I was having while painting, and he was like, "Oh, maybe that's why I don't draw. Why I only paint just to dwell in the sensation." But I don't know. He's just so confident. He's so good, and so much practice is amazing. So yeah, Andrew Kadima is someone who just like straight to paint. I don't think there's ever, like, whatever way you learn, like there's no right and wrong way. And if you, I are you Joetti on Instagram as well? I want to see your work now. It'd be really interesting. I can kind of imagine a way of like focusing on painting rather than drawing, but for me, drawing was just something accessible, something I could take with me really easily. I'm grabbing this calligraphy pen now because the parallel pen, because I want to get on point here, and the other pen I couldn't really get right on the corner. So this is a much broader nib, but I'm able to get like a much more exact line with it, which is interesting. So who here knows the Judith Yours Portrait Challenge? I know some of you do. I'm going to add, if it's not already there, on the Discord server. So I'm sharing references in the Discord server every day, and people are sharing their work there, and it is so much fun, and I would love everyone to join. And on the Discord server there is a resources conversation thread where people share stuff like just great sources for reference, and like I shared the Line of Action website there, where you can do like virtual figure drawing sessions. It's a really cool website. The Judith Yours Portrait Challenge, Judith is sharing like pretty much daily, I think, incredible portrait reference, and a lot of people are sharing their work there. I know Judith from Sketchy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so there's really, I have done some live streams where we did like 10 portraits in 2 hours, I think, from the Judith Yours Portrait Challenge reference. And it was great. It was just so many great images. Wondering, I'm going to the shadow side. So some of the lines I put in here is like really distinct shadows, and then there are these really soft transitions over here. So I'm just going to leave that open, but I'm going to just do this like vertical hatching, keep it simple to still really emphasize the shadow side here, but keep it very still like very line focused. Yeah, the Discord server is so great. I love seeing everyone's work there. And those of you who share to Instagram, I will tag me and I'll reshare to my stories. And it's really great seeing whatever you do. And it's also wonderful seeing there's really different levels of experience, and everyone is welcome to join and share. And a lot of people have said that they've been learning just by looking at what other people are doing, how other people are making different decisions in the drawing process, and that is so cool. That's like exactly what the community aspect is all about, being able to share and learn and develop together. So it's really great to to see people's work and to hear feedback like that people are really getting a lot out of the exchange. I will show you the cards. Mai, is it your first time drawing? Amazing. It's not easy, and it is. You just do it. And if you enjoy it, do it a lot. Oh, there's so many things. If you've never drawn before, that's so special. Thank you for being here and drawing with us. So it takes a lot of drawing, I feel, to get comfortable with it, and now we're reaching a time frame. I know in the beginning, sometimes it's like it's almost easier with less time. That you just kind of start sketching. So I would suggest if you're not sure what to do, you can kind of follow along, but you could just start again because I think the more, like in the beginning, when we haven't drawn much yet, it's like we don't have the experience of like making the decisions, and the more that we practice and the more faces we have drawn, then we start to kind of collect an understanding of what we like, what works, what doesn't, what to avoid. It's such a wonderful journey. Feel free to come and draw with us every day. Because really, learning by doing, and also with some kind of guidance. Guidance can be really great, and also just doing it can be really great. So if you feel like it, go for it. And I'm so happy to have you here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I think there's a lot of collected experience in the chat, and a lot of people will be able to say. All right, so some people were a bit apprehensive about all this hair, so I've focused a lot on the portrait so far, and somehow it's still, I don't know, it's still like with this idea of keeping to line, it's, although there's hatching and there's a lot going on, it still feels kind of clear to me. Joetti asks, when you first started off drawing, did you ever feel like you just couldn't progress or improve? Yeah, definitely. And when I first started out, so I'm just going to say for the hair here, I think the calligraphy pen is going to be such a cool tool because there are so many big, like it's this constant changing between light and dark, and I'm really looking forward to using the broad edge of this pen to work on the hair. So something I have thought about, because now I've been practicing a lot for, I always liked drawing, but I really decided I was going to take it seriously and do it a lot and make it my thing 13 years ago. And in the beginning, I feel like there were things that I didn't know and things that I couldn't see yet, which is a very interesting thing that you start to realize that you're actually learning to seeing the subtleties of what you're actually looking at and making choices about how to represent it. So there was a lot of things that I just couldn't figure out, couldn't see it, and there's still some things that are really challenging, and it's like just constant learning. And I've realized after years of practice, and it doesn't take 13 years to figure it out. But in the early days where I just felt like I wasn't learning anything, or perhaps it was kind of unguided and I was just like drawing things, but didn't really know what I was looking at and didn't know what to focus on or what to do. But I still enjoyed it. There was still a curiosity and passion, even though it was all very unguided. And when I looked back to things now, I could teach myself a lot. But I sought instruction, and I had some wonderful teachers. I had the privilege of attending some great workshops, and I was a mentoree of Rebecca Gay for a year and a half. And so that there was a point where I had been just drawing, just sketching for years. And I look back and see through those drawings, and I see I was starting to look at things, but there was no real development. I think I was just having fun, but at some point I was just like, I don't know how to make really amazing images. I really like drawing, but when I see people doing incredible stuff, I'm like, I don't even know how that's possible. And my wonderful wife, who's a teacher and into learning in general, she was like, okay, well, how do you got to find someone to teach you how to do the thing you want to do. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because I kind of felt like I had left the institutions of learning for sure. I studied architecture, but realized, that's not really what I want to do. And then starting to look for workshops, and I considered going back to study illustration or something, but decided against it. But once I was with people that had been doing it a lot, and then they were able to say, oh yeah, look at that, do you notice how that is like that? And then people would like point things out about the way I was working, or just seeing people who know what they're doing and they're so confident. Being able to watch them and ask questions, that was so beneficial. So yeah, there's definitely before I came into contact with other people who were doing it, I think there definitely were phases where like I felt like I was doing a lot but not really learning. Like, I don't think you could say that every drawing is the same, but of a different subject. But I was just looking through some of my 13-year-old sketches today and seeing, it's all like just one line weight, basically, mechanical pencil. And there was, a lot of stuff wasn't very confident yet. There was a lot of kind of open, unfinished, hesitant stuff. And so it was really interesting just to look at that today. And thank you, Soane. Glad you like it. It's a great reference to draw from. By the way, I've got the references printed out here. The space I'm drawing into is a bit smaller than I printed it. So like kind of trying to figure out how to shrink it down to make it fit. But having the reference, I was talking about this yesterday, having the reference alongside can be helpful. But that being said, it can also be great practice to not have your reference right next to where you are, because if you're drawing from life, then often you'll find yourself in situations where things aren't exactly how you'd like them to be. And it's great if you can change it around, make it more like you want it to be. But it's also great to be not dependent on things always being exactly how you want them. To develop a certain kind of flexibility in the way you're able to work. So this kind of starts, I feel like, this calligraphy pen, because it's so broad, it starts kind of blurring the line a bit of what this idea of pure line is, because each mark is just one line, but it's changing. Like, now there's so much variation between the line qualities and stuff. How's everyone doing? Also, a great way to... I was having a sketchbook conversation today, and that's why I was looking through my sketchbook from back in the day. A really great way to practice drawing is having a sketchbook that you always have with you as much as possible. So not so big. Like this format is so big that it's not necessarily something I would always have with me. But if you're happy whipping out a huge sketchbook wherever you are, go for it. But I had like this kind of pocket-sized sketchbook, and wherever I was, in a cafe or a museum, on public transport, I would be able to get it out and do some sketches. And a lot of the sketches in that first sketchbook that I feel they really, I feel like they're not much to look at. But that was really the phase of drawing a lot and just starting to learn to see. So developing that kind of a practice can be super beneficial in learning. And I would love to have something like that for painting, a way to make painting super easy and accessible. But I've never really... Maybe you have some suggestions. And it's cool. I like with drawing... like a couple of days ago, I was just using this ballpoint pen that I got from a hotel, just a complimentary pen that costs nothing, or using a pencil, using supplies that you can kind of get anywhere. So it's not too intimidating to use them. Like having really fancy art supplies can be, have found that I found it difficult to work on with really nice art supplies particularly when I still felt like I don't know what I'm doing. And now I spend all this money on these art supplies, and I don't want to do something bad with them, so I'm just not going to use it. And that's it's better to have something that you don't have to be precious with, that you can use as a real kind of place for experimentation. Thank you, Jawati. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. I stopped using the timer a long time ago. I just did like the first 6 minutes and then didn't put the timer on again. But we've been at this for like half an hour, which is interesting because like some of the drawings that I did, the one of Hamada Shul, that was a 5-minute portrait, and it was just like so fast. And if you're still here, Mais, I would like to show you. You can see the replays of these other videos, but I had a phase where I was doing 5-minute portrait drawings. Not all of these are 5 minutes, but this one was a 5-minute one, and this was the calligraphy pen I was just using, and using the brush pen, some water, just to put the values around. I think this one was 5 minutes, and when it's like, I have found that practicing with a time limit can really be so good. I think this one, I can't remember. This is not 5 minutes, was it? Maybe this was. I can't remember. Some of these, I had a phase, like a week and a half, I think, where I was doing 5-minute portraits. And every Tuesday, I do a Zoom session where we just do 5-minute portraits. And working within that time frame, really, and doing a lot of drawings. So now we've done, it's almost 40 minutes that we've been here together. And on a Tuesday, in that time, we would have done like 15 portraits, like really quick sketches without thinking about it too much. And they don't have to look amazing. It's just about learning to see. So these are like, on Tuesday, we'll start with 30 seconds. So these are like some 30-second sketches, and I've been practicing these a lot. So now I think I can kind of get a lot done in 30 seconds. But I've been doing this every Tuesday and just doing a lot of these sketches. And then some of them are like, oh yeah, that one's really cool. And some of them will be a bit messy, and maybe it's just like really unfinished, but it's about just looking and seeing and practicing a lot. So yeah, if every time you do a drawing, you're sitting down and allowing yourself 40 minutes, in that same time, you could do a lot of brief practice and then just be looking a lot more, learning to make decisions a lot more, rather than just doing the one thing for a long time every time. Joette is new to art, and that's why you're asking so many questions. That is great, because people who've been doing it for a while can help people that are new to it. So feel free to ask questions. This is the place for asking questions. I am not... I'm working upright. Nicole just asked if I'm drawing flat or upright. I have an easel here. Sometimes it's a bit tricky, and that's why I'm like, the way I'm moving this around, if I was working flat on the table, it would be different. But for a while now, I've been working upright. I'm not sure if I'm going to do much more, really. Yeah, feel free to come back and draw every day. I will put the... Yeah, exactly. Elizabeth just said that, Joette, those questions like those help everyone. So thank you for asking. Exactly. If you have questions, ask, and other people benefit from the answers as well. And also the act of responding to those questions and thinking about, oh, why is it like that? And trying to explain things, that is always a great way to learn as well. So teaching is actually a really good way to keep learning. Here we go. There's the Discord server in the chat. I just saw someone's already posted stuff and it looks amazing. I look forward to seeing what people have done. So I'd love you to share your work in the Discord server. And yeah, as I said, we're doing this every day. I'd like you to come back and keep practicing, keep asking questions. If you go to the Discord server and go to the daily reference chat, you'll find the last 50 days worth of references pinned. So up the top there is a pinned posts thing, and yeah, and you can just like go through sketch all of those. Have a there's just so many wonderful images in there, and the idea of that is just a resource for everyone to grab a whole bunch of great reference photos from. And also, if you're on Instagram, write to me and say hello, comment on my post, like and subscribe here if you haven't already. But I was going to say, if you're on Instagram, go to Judith Yours Portrait Challenge, that I've put the tag in the corner here. And there's so much amazing reference there. They're, yeah, a really, really wonderful resource. And it's great because a lot of the people at the Judith Yours Portrait Challenge are also artists and models and people that are somehow immersed in the creative process. So it's really nice to get to know people there, get to know people's work, because there's just so many wonderful creative people out there. And in my experience, a lot of people are really happy to help each other out, whether it's providing reference answering questions, talking about their experience, their technique. I feel like the online art space that I'm familiar with, that a lot of us dwell within, is a really wonderful, supportive place. So it's so cool that you're new to art, and May, is so cool that it's your first time drawing today, and I hope it's going well for you. And Soane, thank you so much. Everyone go follow Soane. Really cool drawings. All right. So I didn't really talk about it and address it much while I was doing it, but that's what I thought when I saw this wonderful hair, and that's what I did. So a combination of using the line variation of the calligraphy pen, and then getting that the brighter side to just hatch it in like that. And I would still say this is a line drawing. Is it still pure line, like we were exploring on the weekend? I don't know. You tell me. I feel like the really minimal ones that we did, that's kind of what I think of when I think of pure line, but this is still very much a portrait which is built from lines. It's... Linda just came for the end. You are late, but you are here. Thank you for joining, Linda. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you so much, Soane. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. If you've made it this far, you can put a drawing emoji hand in the chat. I looked up, if you're on a desktop and you look through the emojis, it says writing hand. They obviously didn't realize that it's a drawing hand. But if you're looking, if you're like on the desktop and you hit that little emojis thing and you search for emojis and you write writing hand, I don't know if it does it when you do drawing as well. Drawing. No emotes found. But writing is a covert drawing. What I actually meant is drawing hand. So thank you for joining. Thank you for following all the way to the end. Like and subscribe. I will be making a Patreon video next week where everything that I've put in or been exploring and new things I'm sure that I will be putting into an hour of super educational tutorial content. So if you really, it's great to have you here. Like and subscribe. If you really love it and you want to support me with some money as well and get tutorial videos from me, then you can check out my Patreon, because I share monthly tutorials there, and there's like about 30 of the previous tutorials that are all accessible there on all sorts of topics, and I'm open to requests. So if people have something they really want to learn from me, I'm like, how do you do that thing? Then I love doing that kind of stuff as well. So it's all interactive. We're here together drawing anatomical heart from Shannon in addition to the drawing hand. That's wonderful. Yes, Linda, watch the replay. You can watch all of the replays. There are so many replays now. Thanks again and again, Soane, for such an awesome photo, and I wish you all well, and we'll be back here tomorrow, same time tomorrow.